Thank you for joining us today for our webinar on driving digital transformation with Bluebeam. A couple quick reminders before we start. This webinar will be recorded and emailed out to you within a few days. It will also be available under our events page on the Microdesk website and on our YouTube channels. We will have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. If you have any questions during our presentation, please type them into the questions box located near the bottom of the go-to panel for the end. A little bit about Microdesk. We are a leading AECO technology and consulting firm and Autodesk Platinum partner in the United States. In 2022, we joined the Symmetry team that allows us to expand our reach globally throughout Europe. We have over 200 dedicated consulting experts that assist with design, construction, and operation firms with the goal of working smarter and more sustainably. To start off, I would like to present our speaker today, Josh, who will introduce themselves and kick off our agenda.
Thanks, Amanda, and welcome everybody to our presentation. My name is Josh Gianfrido, and I'm a Strategic Implementation Manager here at Microdesk. In this role, I provide technical seminars, software training, and project mentoring centered around BIM adoption. Prior to joining Microdesk, I worked as a structural design engineer on commercial, residential, and institutional projects up here in the Northeast. Again, welcome everyone. A little bit about what you can expect to see today. Our plan is to introduce you to Bluebeam Review, discuss how paperless workflows will save you time and money, demonstrate features and workflows for project plan review, and outline best practices for going digital. So what is Bluebeam Review, you may ask? Bluebeam Review is a purpose-built PDF editing software introduced in 2002. It has since grown to be the leading PDF software used by the AECO industry. And with over 2 million worldwide users in over 130 countries, new adopters can be assured that there is a support system in place to help their transition. Now, when adopting Bluebeam's digital solutions, you will boost productivity, expand collaboration, and increase accountability across your team. Review pulls all project participants into one cohesive conversation that is built around the plan set documents themselves. It connects project teams, reduces rework, and increases productivity while driving the benefits where you need them the most, to save time and money. Now, when we talk about PDF files, we often include the metadata, hyperlinks, bookmarks, file attachments, images, and spaces, often without realizing their effects on the PDF file. The benefit of using Bluebeam Review as your PDF editor is that you can harness and control all of this data. So we'll go ahead and jump in to a demo of Review to show you how this data is consumed and used. During our demonstration, you can expect to see tools used for marking up PDFs, how to customize the tool chest, the power of your markups list, how to create an interactive form, and how to work in the cloud with Bluebeam Studio. All right, let's switch over to Bluebeam. All right, so what you see in front of you is Bluebeam Review. Right now I'm in a standard profile mode. And if I wanted to do some markups, I have a few locations where I can obtain the markup tools. The first one I'll show you is here along our ribbon. We have a tools panel that we can open up of the markups, and we can see a list of markup options available to us. So let's go ahead and start using some of these. So I'll use the line command, and that is put in with 2 clicks. We'll next look at a text box. There's another way we could accomplish this type of markup, and that would be with a cloud, and maybe a similar text box. In that case, the box wasn't quite big enough, but we can just expand it as needed. A third way for a similar option would be our Cloud Plus tool. So you'll see here in one tool, I can build the cloud, put the leader, and put the new information. Other markup types that we have include a highlighter, and this can be used in two different ways. One can highlight in free space. The other one, if you move near text, you'll see it, the icon will change, and you can highlight text directly. In addition to the tools that you're seeing on the ribbon, we also have tools located along the right-hand panel, and any of these can be used as well. Also, I'll point out when you're on the tools markup area, you can see the shortcuts that are available for each of the markup commands as well. So if I wanted to draw an arrow, I can use the A shortcut. So let me get out of the command here, type A on my keyboard, and I could draw an arrow. So that's three of the ways. There is a fourth way, which is what we call our tool chest. So the tool chest lives here on the left panel, and by selecting that, it'll open up and we can grab markup tools out of here as well. This one's a nice one. This is actually a counting device. So if we select that, we can move around and you'll see this one will count for us. And we have some AECO style symbols built in as well. So if you needed to cut a section or show a detail, and then these can be edited as needed. All right, so we've been using the out-of-the-box default settings. If we select any of these markups, you'll see a properties ribbon along the top, and this is where we can adjust any of the settings that you see here, whether it's the color, the line type, the font, the fill, all of that can be done here. I'll just quickly change one of the line types. You can see there's the leader, and then the font type is a little bit further down. So each piece of it can be controlled separately for you. And then this can be, with a right click, you can set this to be the default. So the next time I go to my Cloud Plus command, you'll see my green options have been remembered. So all of these tools are completely customizable to your firm and to your standards, and can be adopted across the whole firm. You'll notice some of the tools that I've been working on are popping up into my tool chest under my recent tools. And once that happens, I can select these, move them into a new tool chest, maybe something like My Tools, and now this will become a permanent tool that I can use anytime I'm in the program. Recent tools will reset each time you close Bluebeam, so if you want something from this to be permanent, you need to move it to a different tool set. Also notice these little numbers. These are shortcuts as well. So now a number 9 will be to draw this exact style of Cloud Plus command. So if I escape out of there, hit 9 on my keyboard, you can see I'm back to that command again. All right, the next markup tool I'd like to show you guys is our stamp tool. So when it's time to stamp your drawings, we can customize these for your firm. This one is just the out-of-the-box one. You'll see here we can place the stamp. And instead of going page by page and putting it on all of these different pages, what we can do is select it, right-click, and tell it we want to apply to pages. And in this case, I'll just apply to all the pages, but you can set this up however you need to. And we'll say OK, and it'll apply those stamps to all of our pages. So very quickly, it's very quick for you to be able to stamp your plan sets. Okay, moving on to the next one, tool chest. We started looking at this already, but here we'll be able to look at a little bit more of the pre-baked in customization. So if you go to your review button and under profiles, you'll see a few profiles that are built in. The review is the standard one. Review advanced will look like this. Similar tools, just kind of shown in a little different way. And anytime you need to use one, you just click on it and you can place that. You may want to place multiple tools of the same. And to do that, you can go to tools and turn on reuse. And now as you place a tool, you can keep placing it. So I don't have to keep launching the command each time. But the real power of the tool chest is the fact that you can customize it, you can export it, and you can import it. So what this allows is for your company to have a standard that everybody abides by. You can create the tools that would be part of your company's standard tools. You can go to one of these gear buttons and export those tools out. And then any other user in the firm can go to the tool chest button, manage tool sets, and import those same tools into their Bluebeam, allowing everybody to have a standardized set of markup tools. There are also ones available on the internet from Bluebeam and from other places where you can download them, or like I said, create your own package. And there are a few that are inside of the program as well. So if you wanted to do quantity takeoffs, this would be for measuring distances, areas, or getting counts off of stuff. We have a profile for that, and the general measurements and some counting tools, sequencing ones that you can use. Also, we have a profile for field issues. So if you're trying to do a punch list of field issues for your project closeout, they have those tools predefined in here as well. And you can see they're already set up with their comments. So in this case, it's for wrong light, or in this one would be a missing light. And we can go ahead and grab these and place them. Okay, I'm going to switch files here. Now, as that was going on, kind of behind the scenes, if you will, Review was building a list of all of your markups for you. And that lives down here at the bottom of your screen. And if we slide this up, we'll see our markups list. So the markups list can be sorted. You can filter it. You can change which columns are shown. And you can export this as a report. So when we talked about the punch list for field issues, that would be a nice report to be able to export out. So let's go ahead and look at some of those options. First off, if you wanted to print a clean PDF without any markups, we have a single button for that. We can hide the markups and print this now, and you won't have any of your markups on your plot set. If you would like to sort this, you can click on any of these columns and sort by their statuses, or sort by the author, or sort by the comment. One I use quite a bit will be a page index, which is like the page number. To get that extra column, I would click under markups list, columns, and I would turn on the page index. And now if we sort by that, this is sorting markups by which page they're on. So there's one's on one page. This is a one-page document, but that would work if it was multi-pages. Another thing you can do with the markups list is you can control the statuses, and that's what this says. I know it's kind of crunched in. Let me slide that over. There we go. This is the status of the markup. And what we can do with that is we can right-click on a markup and set the status. And maybe if I was the drafter making the correction inside of Revit, I would mark it as completed. And you can see we've set this up to actually edit the color, and it makes it a green color, showing it's completed. We could do that right in the plan as well. So let me zoom in here. We can select one, right click, set status to completed. And now as somebody, maybe the engineer who did the original markups, has a chance to review it, they would be able to go through, right click, set status, review as accepted. And in this case, I've set that to gray it out. So as we work through digitally, we're able to keep track of what's been done, who did it. If we expand this out, it'll give you even a little more detail. It says who made the status change at what time, and what the status change was. And so we can see who was working on what details and what markups and who was approving them and which ones may still need to have some work done to them. So this works out really well when you're collaborating with multiple team members and you don't want to break the work apart by page or something. You can just look at the statuses and see which work needs to still be done and which work has been done. I talked a little bit about filtering the list. If we click on the filter, it will, let me make the list a little bigger. It will allow us to click in the headers and filter the list. So maybe we wanted to see all the markups by a certain author, and now that's all we're going to see here. And there are all of these headers that have a gray and orange box. You can click in there and edit those. Let's clear the filters and go back to normal. All right, and I also mentioned that we can export this as a report, and we do that here through the Share Summary button. And in my case, I'll just make a PDF summary. I'll keep the defaults, but there are lots of settings that you can edit if you need to. And in this case, it's printing out a report of each of the markups, and it'll show their status and kind of give locations of them. And this will be, really helpful if you're using this as a punch list for the field issues, like we mentioned. All right, moving on from markups, let's talk a little bit about the automation within Review. So what we have here is a PDF that if you were going to try to fill this in, you would need to go to Tools, Markup, Text Box, and draw a text box here and fill in your information and probably recolor this to be black so that it matched and all of those good things. And if you had this form and you were going to be filling it out multiple times, it would be a lot more handy if these cells were smart and you could tab through this and type as you were tabbing. And Review allows that to happen. So if we go to our tools, our forms, we can say we want to automatically create form fields, and this will turn this form into an interactive form for us. And it really is that simple. It's able to understand the difference between a date cell versus a non-date cell. I'm going to move over to this one where I've already saved the same form. And you can see if I try to go here into my date cell and not put a date, it'll actually tell me, sorry, this is a cell that needs a date. So that's nice. And the rest of these, I believe, are set up as text cells other than the other date cell down here, and as well as this signature cell. So you can see how I can tab through the form, filling in stuff as I go. And then this could be saved out as a copy of this form. Maybe it's my version of my RFI. We'll talk a little bit more about the different flavors of Review, and they have made an adjustment as to where this auto form creation lives now, in a good way. All right, so we'll now start talking a little bit about the cloud offerings from Bluebeam. So what you're seeing here is what we call a studio session. There's also a cloud version called Studio Projects. And what we have for you, I have a coworker who's going to log into the file, and he's already been invited to this file. And once he logs in, we're going to see his markups happening in real time. While we're waiting for that, let me just explain a little bit between what the Sessions and Studio have. For Studio is sort of the live, real-time, work on it together at the same time, where a Studio project is sort of like a Dropbox location, sort of like a cloud server location. So you're not going to work with multiple team members live on projects, but you will be able to do that inside of Sessions. Maybe this live demo here isn't going to be part of it. Oh, he might be in a different session right now. Give me 1 second. So it looks like there may have been some markups earlier. No, it looks like those ones were deleted. So one of the things with the Studio Sessions is whoever makes the markups is the only one who can then edit them, delete them, and control them, other than setting the status. So like I was showing earlier, you can right click and set the status. But you won't be able to manipulate someone else's markups, which is good since we don't want somebody to change something that's already on there. All right, he's going to come back one more time, and if not, we'll just move on. All right, we'll save that one for another day. All right, even with those technical difficulties at the end there, I hope everyone enjoyed seeing review in action. We know in a post-COVID world, the pressure for digital transformation has been amplified, and you need to respond with flexibility, control, and innovation. Since working remotely is not unique in today's world, efficient self-service options are crucial. You also need data-driven business practices that are secure, especially with increasing information security standards. And with regards to cost pressures, there's a scarcity of skilled labor, changing demographics, and changing project logistics to deal with. As a result, technology and solution providers need to be more innovative to overcome these challenges and provide a competitive advantage to their customers. Bluebeam is doing this. How? By transitioning their base offering into 3 new plans. For a high-level overview, starting with Review Basics, you'll have essential tools for marking up and managing your AECO office and project documents. With Review Core, you'll have more tools for managing and collaborating on small and mid-sized AECO projects. Core includes all features from Review Basics, plus real-time collaboration via Studio directly within Review. That little part at the end, which I wasn't able to show. Review Complete is the most comprehensive plan. It has everything you need to manage and optimize complex AECO projects at scale. You will have all review basics and core features, plus advanced Bluebeam review functionality. And all plans include review, also the cloud, which is web and mobile, and the Bluebeam training services, aka Bluebeam University, designed to boost your productivity. Now, when you're ready to make the transition to a digital workflow, some best practices for the adoption of Bluebeam include setting up a pilot group, and this will be your early adopters, and they will help set up your PDF standards for the company. Once this group has worked through a project or two and sets up your company standards, building a library of markup tools that are standardized across the firm would be your next step. And lastly, with the adoption of Studio, remote work is streamlined, allowing one source of truth for all of your plan sets. So as you're looking for ways to make your digital transformation easier and faster, you can rely on Microdesk Consulting Services for full implementation and training assistance. We've supported clients all over the country and all over the world in establishing best practices for plan review, navigating the challenges of technology adoption across multiple departments, and shortening timelines for digital uptake, leading to money saved and a higher return on investment for our clients. So whether you are new to Bluebeam Review or have been using it for years, we have the right offering to help you deliver a best-in-class service to your clients. If you'd like more information on our services, you can email team@microdesk.com or respond to the poll we'll hold at the end of this webinar. And with that, we'll open it up for any questions.
Great job, Josh. Let me pull up the box and see if we had any questions come in. And as a reminder, if you do have any questions, you can type to the questions box at the bottom of the go-to panel. So the first one, can you explain the difference between studio sessions and studio projects?
Yeah, sorry, I kind of stumbled on that section, but so both of them are Bluebeam cloud offerings. Where they differ is Studio Sessions is the real-time collaboration tool with while Studio Projects can be thought of more like a Dropbox or a remote server location. With Sessions, you upload PDF files, and it is for Sessions just PDF files, and you can work on them in real time, possibly with multiple team members, all in the same file at the same time together, and all with editing capabilities at the same time. Versus in projects, you store your files in cloud location, and it could be any file type, not just PDFs. So you can access them anywhere, but they cannot be edited, quote unquote, in real time. Each team member would have to check out the file to do the editing. And so then really only one team member can be in the live file at a time. So it's, again, sort of like a cloud server location.
Great. Another one, can you explain the difference between the legacy offerings of Review Standard, CAD, and Extreme versus the new offerings of Review Basics, Core, and Complete?
Sure. So yeah, they're right now Bluebeam is transitioning the way they're packaging the software. So in the past, we had what we called Review Standard, Review CAD, and Review Extreme. And Standard was sort of your base set of tools for markups. Review CAD added in extensions so that you can export and print directly from CAD programs such as AutoCAD, Revit, stuff like that. And Review Extreme had all the tools that Bluebeam offers, including things for automatic batching, OCR, which is optical character recognition, as well as that interactive creative forms that you just saw us do. For the new offerings, they're now going to be calling them Basics, Core, and Complete. And the difference is they're going to be offering more of the tools at lower levels. So before, if you went to the lowest level, you wouldn't have things like optical character recognition or the interactive form creation. But they found that you may have people in your office that are not client facing, so they're not engineers, they're not drafters, maybe they're office staff, and those types would need to build customized interactive forms. And so they've repackaged how everything is. More tools have been added to basics, like I said, such as OCR and the forms creation. Review Basics cannot start a new studio project in Review. So that's one of the keys with that. And that's why it's really not for your end users or your client-facing users. So when you move up to Core, this would be the typical package for your typical team member that's using Revit and using Bluebeam at your design firm. And then Review Complete is now the one that has everything in it. And the big power there is your automatic and your batch tools still. So those would be like if you needed to go through a bunch of different PDF files and make, remove a sheet or add a sheet or stuff like that, you would need the batching tools that come in Complete. But overall, this new change allows more review tools at lower levels of commitment by putting some of that stuff that was only available in Extreme is actually now available in Basics.
Great. So one more question. Is there any way to add set status as a shortcut and not every time that you have to click 3 times?
Yes, we can edit the keyboard shortcuts. And so we can set up a custom keyboard shortcut where we can set the status through a keyboard shortcut, yes.
That looks like all the questions we have. I am going to pull up a quick poll on the screen. So if you have any more questions or would like a one-on-one demo with one of our team members, please answer yes, and we'll reach out to you shortly. So I'm just going to leave this up for Okay, thank you all for that. You can also visit our website at microdesk.com to learn more about the products and services we offer, or we can be reached by the phone number or email on the screen. That will wrap up our webinar today. Big thank you to Josh, and thank you all for taking the time out of your day to join us. Have a good one.
Thanks, everyone.